Another Back to Basics videos, 10 mistakes you're probably making right now. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is another Back to Basics series. I'm going to review at Trader Lions trading rules. I like to get into these topics because a lot of it is emotional, psychological mixed with trading. And the thing that I tell people all the time about trading, no matter how smart you are, if your emotions and your understanding of the market are not in line with the reality of what's going on, you're going to absolutely get destroyed. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about his 10 rules, 10 mistakes you're probably making. Again, you love trading, but your results constantly disappoint you. Well, here are the 10 mistakes you're probably making right now. I'm just going to wing this because I guarantee I've probably made every mistake at least 10 times. And on that note, survival of the fittest, trying to figure out ways to not blow up, make mistakes that are going to cost you your day, week, month, quarter, year, question mark. Let's get into it. Trying to learn everything there is to know about every aspect of the markets. I agree. Thing about the markets in general is, if you're an inch deep and a mile wide, you really don't know what to look at, what to do, what works, what doesn't. People get really, I'd say, and I've even done this before, is they really get tunnel vision to doing something that they think is going to work, or a trade, or they have their mind that this is how trading works because everyone else is doing it. But the problem that people won't talk about is that 99% of the free public access traders, promoters, fake financial pundits tell you is that they make money off of you paying them just to follow them. Their results are not guaranteed. Hence why in all their disclaimers, right? I even put a disclaimer up. I want people to follow their own insights that they've learned and grown from and trade well. So you'll need to unlearn 90% of it later to make real progress instead of focusing on key principles that drive the market's movements or price action. Again, the key principles that drive the market movements and price action, little secret for you. The market makers, the goal is to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. How that looks in the market, well, guess what? Those are the things that we talk about constantly, and hopefully if you're hanging out, we'll learn. Not focusing on what works for you and what doesn't. Understand your risk profile, strengths, and weaknesses. Develop a method based on your real-time trial and errors. Real-time trial and errors, yeah, that's why you get a practice account. That's why if you're learning to trade, do it with the minimum amount that you're willing to lose and expect to lose it. Risk profile, strengths, weaknesses, yes, I agree. Everybody's personality is slightly different. So how you handle trading, again, because this is all a mental game, right? You're just trying to do what the market's going to do. As soon as you imprint yourself between what the market's going to do and what it's doing is where the fog steps in. And people are like, well, whoa, hold on. Don't you have to have convictions? And then it's like, no, your only conviction is to minimize losses, maximize gains. That is the tried and true risk profile, strength, and weakness that you're trying to understand. My strength, your strength, everyone's strength has to be the same. To win more than you're losing and your gains be bigger than your losses. I know that sounds simple, and it really is. We'll talk about that hopefully if you're around or been paying attention, you've been studying how that implement that. 3, over-optimizing your trading system. The goal is to find a system that works for you, not to find the holy grail. You can minimize risk and limit losses, but you can't remove them. Well, that's why we always talk about it's a probability-based game. I mean, there is no holy grail. The holy grail is trying to do what the market is doing and understanding the market's trying to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. How that plays into your trading, again, I tell people volume at price, volume, fibs, trend lines, moving averages, simple charts. Y'all seen my charts? If you haven't, but watch others. Simple, less is more. Don't need a confusion with RSI, MACD, tons of other crappy profile indicators that really just follow price. Remember, the market knows, the brokers know the stuff that you're using to trade with. And sometimes, again, like today, we're talking about like the 50, 200-day golden cross. Once that gets advertised, you need to be scared because the market makers are using that against you. This one is probably one of the most important ones we're going to talk about. You don't have a journal. If you don't have a journal, how are you tracking how you're doing, and essentially like what's working and what isn't. Because again, flaws and patterns, all your performance, yeah, we can teach you that stuff, and you can learn that very easily. But if you're not actually tracking your emotions, that's probably the biggest thing. Again, it's great to have a journal and be like, oh, I made 5%, this is what I did, this is what worked. Okay, well, why didn't you do more? Potentially, if it worked, and why are your losses bigger than your gains? Well, a lot of it is people don't track their emotions in the trade, right? They're scared to get in, scared to miss out. You know, that whole fear, FOMO, all that stuff, it's real. Not having realistic expectations. Most people expect to make a fortune overnight, which is simply not possible. Again, agree to disagree and agree. It is possible to make a fortune overnight in trading if you're well thought out, planned, and have strategies that go with the market makers, right? Pretty simple. But again, execution-wise, that's the problem, right? You want to focus on consistency. I completely agree with this statement. But the problem with consistency in a probability game is people think that the more they trade, the more consistent they're going to be. And that's like the total opposite. Less is more. It's easier to be correct about less things than trying to be correct about everything, which takes us into the next rule, over trading. Trading less often will help you become more selective with your entries and improve your win rate. Trade quality over quantity. Lets trades come to you, not the other way. Basically nothing to say. I completely agree. This is 100% true. When the trades come to you, more than likely you know your spots. Not just, oh, I'm just going to wait for just randomness to pop or drop or whatever. But here you go. Keep an eye on, in your mind, the ability to beat the game. If you play blackjack and you sit down and you bet $20 every bet over and over and over and over, the house will eventually win. If you play any casino game where the odds of you losing grow the more you play, there's such same thing in the trading. Trying to be right all the time. I mean, as much as I hate to say this, I might be the smartest guy in the room, but I'm not. I can still lose when it comes to trading. Again, I might be doing this a long time. It doesn't mean I still can't be wrong. And so letting trades come to you, trading less, again, that's where you see who's a grown-up in trading. The people who are over trading, day trading constantly, it's juvenile. Because again, the big money's not in the small moves. It's in the big moves, right? You're not going to get rich making 1, 2, 3, maybe even $10 on a trade. It's the big moves. They move 5, 10, 15, 20% pretty quickly or over time. Underestimating what you can achieve. It's human nature to doubt ourselves, but we are capable of much more than we think. If we want to be a great trader, we have to believe you have to be inside of you. Again, if belief is the only thing that mattered, then everybody would be a great trader. You have to believe in yourself. Great. No, I would say you just can't quit. When the going gets tough, the strong get going. You're going to struggle. Just believing that you are going to win and that you're a great trader, or you want to be a great trader, I mean, that's a necessity in the background, but you have to be willing to take punches. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to practice. You have to be putting in the time to understand that you're not going to show up, pick up a basketball, and all of a sudden be ready for the NBA. You're not going to pick up a bat and go, I can play in the major leagues. You're not going to kick a soccer ball and go, well, I can go play for Manchester United or Barcelona. No, it's the same thing. Again, doubting yourself or confidence, yes, those things are important. But in general, like, you have to believe that you will win because you will not quit and you will fight tooth and nail to grow and consistently learn. Not respecting risk, you have to know your risk profiles. You have to have your plans. We talk about this all the time. If you get into a trade, define your loss. That's how you know. And again, every once in a while, maybe something happens where your loss happens after hours or something that you can't control. And that's the thing. It's wise if you're minimizing your losses as much as you can. These one-off losses do not screw you. If you're always playing a game where you're barely up and barely down, you win big, lose big, you really started out. You're in the same place you started. So again, respect your risk, meaning what? Do you sit down at a casino and gamble huge on a game you don't understand? That's probably not smart. Kicking yourself when you're down. Losing trades are common. Yeah, again, I say this all the time. You expect to lose at times. You cannot know what to do correctly all the time. Especially the newer you are, you should expect to be wrong all the time, if anything, and then learn from it. Again, mistakes are the greatest learning lessons. Again, if you follow the channel, Hopefully you realize I'm giving you a free tuition with the intention of helping you level up. And it's all on you. I can't tell you how to be. You mean you want a coach where someone just gives you the trades all the time? Well, then you're going to pay a lot of money. I used to do that. It cost a ton of money. No one can afford me because I don't want to be responsible for anyone's ultimate success or failure. I want them to own it. Now, again, if you want to reward your coach and throw him a tip every once in a while for giving you great ideas, giving you great insights, much appreciated. But in the end, you own the results. So kicking yourself when you're down, I get it. Confidence is the thing. If you lose your confidence in trading, all of a sudden it just seems like nothing can go right. I've had the pleasure of being wrong like 20 times in a row and not understanding how and why. It ultimately came to be fighting the trend, but that's part of it. You know, I mean, once you're mentally down, kicking yourself, and you're like, next time has to be right, and then you're just throwing money at dead trades or dead swing trades, that's just murder. Absolute end of the game. Goodbye. So kicking yourself when you're down, again, your mistakes are your greatest actually assets, because that's, if you learn from them, you will grow. That's how we evolve, literally, in this universe. You know, it's learning from mistakes, right? Touch fire, burns. Don't touch it again, right? Drive on the right side of the road, right? whatever rules you want to apply. Same thing for, like, think of it as like you're a child and you're learning the rules. And so either you can have someone help you, aka a parent, friend, loved one, or you can just go around beating yourself up and doing dumb stuff. Not enjoying the process. This is probably the most important mental rule of the game, is like, you gotta enjoy the challenge. I agree with this one completely. You have to be an absolute nerd of the game. You know, LeBron doesn't show up great. Like, the guy practices probably relentlessly. Think about your favorite sports athlete, favorite anything. To be great at it, you gotta love the process. You can't say, well, I've just done enough. Well, enough, you haven't done enough until you succeed. And then even when you succeed, I tell you, like, you have to be a student of the game. As soon as something seems like it always will happen, the tendencies change. The market knows that. It sucks people in. It starts getting people to believe in certainty. Oh, the bull market's starting, boom, flop. Oh, the world's going to end, reverses, right? This trend line matters, fails. Those moving averages are important, slam right through them. That's what the market does. It's organized chaos and randomness, but repeating patterns. There's nothing new in the market. And that's what I tell people, like, enjoy learning the process. There's nothing new. People are still emotional. People are still dumb. Meaning, like, you know, an idiot and their money will, you know, always be separated. And that's what the market knows. Like, you're going to turn into a gambler. I'm going to turn into a gambler if we go down to our fundamental small brain takes over. I hope this kind of stuff helps. Again, I appreciate everybody involved in the Discord room and just in general following. You got to take this, like, you got to take trading for what it is, but also enjoy it. If you don't enjoy the challenge and you expect things to be easy, trading's not for you. Buy and hold, no guaranteed. I mean, you're going to see why a bear market resets such every time, because it's great when everything's going up. But as soon as a bear market comes, it resets, and things that once led might not lead, and things that were trash might float, and new leaders emerge. The next Apple, Netflix, Google, Meta, whatever names, Amazon, there's always competition coming out of the ashes, and a phoenix will rise. So believing and investing in something forever, keep in mind, there's only been a few that have performed well and survived. And most notably, for longer term, it's the only really one is ExxonMobil. Unless your stock gets bought out. And not every stock gets bought out. So remember, a lot turn to trash. Go back into the trash bin. All right. If you have any questions, please reach out. The goal is obviously to make money in the markets, then turn it into passive income. I warn people this all the time. Having the biggest trading account is like having a huge grenade. If you don't handle it correctly all the time, it will blow up in your face. How do I know? I've got battle scars. And so the key is to always be involving and investing in passive income so that when you're not trading, you're still getting paid, right? Talk to me about it. Real estate is one of my favorite ways of doing it. And again, there's other ways, but either way, if you need help, please reach out. Goal is to help the most amount of people find their success, because Ultimately, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Talk to you later. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.